A federal investigation is open right now. Court documents are public. Lab results have already been published. And the brands connected to all of it are sitting on shelves at Walmart, Costco, Kroger, and Safeway. Right now, today. This video does not offer opinions. It reads the records. 8 brands. 8 documented findings. Starting with number 8. Number 8. Great value and market side. Here is what a filed federal lawsuit says about the eggs Walmart sells under its own label. Walmart does not own farms. It does not raise hens. It contracts with outside producers and puts its name on the carton. Its primary supplier, according to court records, is Cal-Maine Foods, the single largest egg producer in the United States, with more than 20% of the domestic market. In 2018, a class action lawsuit was filed in California. According to that filing, market-side organic eggs, sold with outdoor access claims on the label, were being produced in industrial multi-story barns. Attorneys who investigated a Cal-Maine facility in Kansas stated in court documents that less than 1% of a 400,000 bird flock could access the outdoors. That outdoor access, according to the filing, consisted of enclosed screened porches attached to the barns. The organic eggs cost $3.97 at the time. The conventional eggs cost $1.86. Same supplier, different label, more than double the price. Separately, public court records show Walmart reached settlements in 3 overcharging cases within 2 years, $45 million in 2024 and $5.6 million in California in August 2025. Those are not allegations. Those settlements are done. They are public record. Number 7. Eggland's Best. Here is what Eggland's Best's own legal team said in federal court about their own carton. The label says, "Every hen is free to roam in a pleasant natural environment." A class action filed in Chicago alleged the actual conditions were crowded, concrete, windowless indoor facilities. When the company moved to dismiss the case, their lawyers described the carton language as, and this is a direct quote from the legal filing, mere puffery, vague, generalized, subject to multiple interpretations. The court did not dismiss the case, so here is the documented situation. You are paying up to 25% more for cage-free eggs. The company's own attorneys argued in federal court that the language justifying that premium should not be taken as a literal factual claim. That argument is in the public court record. This is not an isolated case. In 2023, Kroger was sued over its Farm Fresh label. In 2025, a Pennsylvania producer called Alder for Eggs settled a class action for $287,500. Court documents in that case referenced drone footage taken from a public sidewalk. More than 80% of surveyed consumers said what the footage showed did not match what they expected from the label. Number 6. Handsome Brook Farm. The FDA has a classification system for recalls. Class 3 means low risk. Class 2 means moderate risk. Class 1 means, and this is the FDA's own language, a reasonable probability of serious adverse health consequences or death. In November 2024, Handsome Brook Farm recalled eggs sold under Costco's Kirkland Signature label across 25 stores in 5 states. According to the company's own recall announcement, those eggs were not intended for retail sale. They were accidentally packaged and distributed to consumers. The FDA upgraded that recall to Class 1. The agency confirmed the eggs came from a salmonella-positive environment. The company stated it was adding supply chain controls and retraining staff. What the public record shows is that eggs from a confirmed salmonella environment reached retail shelves, and the system did not catch it until after consumers had already purchased them. That sequence is documented by the FDA directly. Number 5. Nellie's Free-Range Eggs. A federal judge reviewed the packaging for Nellie's free-range eggs. According to the court record, the imagery depicted, in the judge's own words, hens frolicking in Elysian pastures. Here is what a filed investigation documented at one supplier farm: approximately 20,000 hens in a single overcrowded shed. The third-party certification that Nellie's uses, Humane Farm Animal Care, sets a minimum floor space of 1.22 square feet per bird. That is a measurement slightly larger than the bird's own body. A federal class action was filed in the Southern District of New York. The court rejected the motion to dismiss. The investigation also documented standard supply chain practices, including beak trimming to prevent stress-related cannibalism, culling of all male chicks at birth, and transfer of spent hens to conventional slaughter facilities after approximately 13 months. These are not editorial characterizations. They are items from the filed court record and the certification standards the brand itself uses. We are at the halfway point. What comes next is more significant. A university lab published findings about a $14 egg that sent loyal customers walking. A 1.7 million egg recall reached 9 states before anyone knew the producer's name. A price-fixing case shows wholesale prices collapsed 60% the week a federal investigation went public. And the #1 entry involves a product found in an American kitchen staple that should never be anywhere near food. Discovered not by the company, but by an anonymous tip to federal investigators. Stay with me. #4. Vital Farms. Vital Farms sells eggs at $7 to $14 per carton. The company is publicly traded. Its marketing centers on pasture-raised hens, outdoor foraging, and natural diets. Transparency is a core part of the brand identity. In 2021, a consumer lawsuit was filed in the Western District of Texas. The court allowed it to proceed. During that litigation, a federal judge ordered Vital Farms to pay $292,000 in sanctions. According to the court, the company had issued subpoenas to animal rights organizations that the judge found overly broad. That order is public record. Then came the lab result. A third-party analysis conducted in collaboration with Michigan State University tested Vital Farms eggs and found elevated levels of linoleic acid. According to the researchers, those levels were traced to corn and soybean meal in the hen's feed, not a foraged natural diet. The company published a video response. The comments section filled with customers citing the findings as their reason for leaving the brand. The term greenwashing trended across food and nutrition communities online. A Canadian study published in 2024 found that when consumers were shown real images of cage-free and free-range facilities, only 14% correctly identified that the hens remain indoors at all times. The lab result is published. The company's response is public. Consumers can review both. #3. August Egg Company. In June 2025, the CDC and FDA announced a Salmonella outbreak investigation. The source was traced to eggs from the August Egg Company in Hilmar, California. The recall covered 1.7 million eggs across 9 states: California, Nevada, Washington, Arizona, Nebraska, New Mexico, Illinois, Indiana, and Wyoming. The eggs were sold at Walmart and Safeway under multiple brand names with sell-by dates from March 4th through June 19th. Federal records confirmed 79 illnesses across 7 states and at least 21 hospitalizations. Here is the structural issue the public record surfaces. Not one of those consumers knew they were buying an August Egg Company product. The producer's name was not on the carton. It never is. The brand visible at retail belongs to whoever is selling it, not whoever made it. That is how the supply chain works, documented in the federal recall filings themselves. 1.7 million eggs, 9 states, 1 anonymous producer. That is not an opinion about the industry. That is what the recall record says. #2. Cal-Maine Foods. Cal-Maine Foods is the largest egg producer in the United States. More than 20% of domestic market share, $3.1 billion net sales, $1.2 billion in net income, their own public financial disclosures. In March 2025, the Wall Street Journal reported the Department of Justice had opened an antitrust investigation into egg industry pricing. Cal-Maine confirmed in a regulatory filing that it received a civil investigative demand from the DOJ that same month. A class action filed in November 2025 names Cal-Maine, along with Rose Acre Farms, Hillendale Farms, and Daybreak Foods. The lawsuit alleges coordinated pricing between January 2022 and March 2025 using a shared industry analytics platform. According to the filing, egg prices rose as much as 270% during that window, while feed and fuel costs fell. Here is the data point the lawsuit highlights directly. The week the DOJ investigation became public, wholesale egg prices dropped more than 60%. That price movement is cited in the filing as evidence. Draw your own conclusions. In 2023, Cal-Maine was part of a $53 million industry settlement following a jury verdict in a prior pricing case involving Kraft, General Mills, Kellogg, and Nestlé. The company's own filings confirm 0 avian flu outbreaks in its flocks. During the period, prices rose 270%. Net income in a single quarter of fiscal 2025 reached $58.5 million, more than 8 times the same quarter 3 years earlier. The board chair's personal stock holdings grew by nearly $10 million during that same window, according to public financial records. These numbers are from the company's own disclosures and public court filings. No interpretation needed. Number 1. Egg beaters. On March 28, 2025, the USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service announced a recall of 212,268 pounds of liquid egg products sold under the Egg Beaters and Bob Evans labels. According to FSIS records, the products may have contained sodium hypochlorite, the active ingredient in bleach. The eggs were produced March 12 and 13 and distributed across Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, Illinois, Iowa, Ohio, and Texas. Federal records note the possibility of nationwide distribution. Egg Beaters is produced by Cargill Kitchen Solutions, one of the largest food companies in the world. The brand has been in American kitchens for decades as the recognized cleaner, healthier egg option. Federal investigators classified this as a Class 3 recall. Negligible health risk. No illnesses were reported. Cargill stated the recall was issued out of an abundance of caution. Here is what the FSIS record also shows. The potential contamination was not identified by Cargill's internal quality systems. It was identified after FSIS received an anonymous tip. A company processing hundreds of thousands of pounds of egg product did not catch it. A stranger with a phone number did. That is not an accusation. That is the documented sequence in the federal recall record. What the public record shows 8 brands, 8 documented findings, all of it sourced from federal agencies, court filings, university research, and company disclosures. The label terms consumers rely on carry less regulatory definition than most people realize. Cage-free has no outdoor access requirement. Free range has no federal standard for space or duration. Pasture-raised has no government definition at all. Organic requires outdoor access, but court filings in multiple cases have described that access as enclosed porches, reachable by a fraction of the flock. According to USDA data, approximately 60% of American laying hens remain in conventional battery cage systems. The 5 largest producers control more than 90% of domestic supply. 3 salmonella recalls occurred in 2025 alone. A DOJ antitrust investigation is active. A class action alleging coordinated pricing from 2022 to 2025 was filed in November of that year. Every piece of information in this video is publicly available. Court databases, FDA recall records, USDA announcements, university research, company financial filings. The label on a carton is written by a marketing team. The public record is written by federal courts, government agencies, and independent researchers. Both exist. Now you know where to find them.